Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwartner. I'm the founder and publisher of Selling Power Magazine. And today we have the great pleasure of meeting with Mandi Graziano. She is the author of a wonderful new book called Sales Tales. Welcome, Mandi.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
One of the terms in the title is hustle. You talk about hustling. How would you define hustle? What would be a good example?
I think hustle is speed and time management, really, just handling a lot of things at one time. And I think an example is just how you go out and find new business and manage your existing clients all at the same time.
What was the craziest client you've ever dealt with?
One of my most memorable clients was a client that I was afraid to fire because it was such a high dollar amount. It made an impact financially to me and my family. This person had mob mentality. It was, if you don't do this, you'll be fired. If you don't do this, you'll be fired. And it was a customer that would call at all hours of the night. And my husband would say, you have to fire this client. And then finally, I ended up firing the client. It was a graceful fire, but I ended up firing the client, and it ended up making so much more space for my existing customers. And it ended up making so much more space for really good clients. This person didn't pay attention. I had to resend a lot of documents a lot of times, re-explain things a lot of times. And then there was some tricky things that were going on financially that I found out later on.
As Zig Ziglar once said, you cannot do good business with bad people.
And I talk about that in the book. You know, you talk about toxic people, but then I talk about toxic time. And how if you really look at your client base and your business and how much of that is toxic time and how much of that is productive time. And I really encourage people to eliminate the toxic time and the toxic people if you can, because it's just not good for you or business.
In your book, you write a lot about your experiences, and selling is the creation of a positive experience. And it also can be a lot of fun. What was the most fun you've ever had selling something?
Unprofessionally, I will say, when I was a little girl, my little sister and I would take our wagon out for the day. She would just, walk with me up the hill, and we would go into a neighbor's yard and pick flowers, roots and all. And we would wrap those flowers with a little bow, and we would go to that same neighbor's house and sell them their own flowers, and they would buy them. And we would walk around the neighborhood with our wagon. And that was what we did for fun, right? Like, other kids were playing with Barbies or doing whatever they were doing, and we were just selling our wares in our neighborhood. So as a grown-up, I think one of the most fun experiences I've had is honestly selling the book. The publishing world is a whole new experience that I don't know anything about. Well, now I think I know a little bit about. And so it's been really fun trying different things, failing miserably and learning from that, and then trying other things. So selling the book has been super fun.
Yeah, it must have been very rewarding too, to see all your lifetime's worth of sales experiences in 200 pages.
In under 200 pages. Yeah,
right.
It's it has been quite an accomplishment.
So Mandi, what was the story that didn't make it to publication?
Professional story that didn't make it was, I wrote a story about what I consider to be a bad boss, and how you can learn to be a great leader from having a bad boss. And not to get so upset if you have a bad boss. That's just a great opportunity to learn what kind of boss you want to be. And then the second story was, I was just talking to my mom about this actually yesterday, was I have severe anxiety disorder. I've had it since I was a little girl. I didn't know I've had it since I was a little girl. At one point in the book, I talk about how I was having these symptoms, and my husband called my mom and said, I don't know what to do with her. I think she's got this, or this. And, he's having a man episode also, not knowing what to do. And my mom said, honey, she's probably having a panic attack. Anxiety disorder runs in our family. Take her to the ER. Here's what you have to do. And I thought, how do I not know this? Wait, wouldn't that be great information, that this disorder runs in our family and that I've had it my whole life and that everybody has it? And so I sort of went on this big tangent about this, and the editor said, this is too much, Mandi. You can air your dirty laundry with your family in another book, but this is too much. So
what do you worry most about when you have an anxiety attack?
I get tingling in my arms, and my jaw locks, my vision gets blurred, and my ears start ringing. And the incident that happened that caused me to go down this road was I was actually on the phone with a customer and my jaw locked and my saliva got really dry. And I said, I'll call you back. I couldn't even close my mouth. And then, and then I figured out what it was, but mine is very physical. That was a good example of, just pay attention to what those little warning signs are. And if you have to retool how you do your business or your work or run your life, knowing when you're going to have these things, then just retool it. It's all very manageable.
Yeah. So if you can transform anxiety into positive energy, you got it made.
We all have to get over it. And we have to start talking about this because these are real things that are happening to all of us in our lives. And if I would have talked about my anxiety disorder 10 years earlier, I might have handled things differently in my professional life. I think I have no problem talking about all the taboo things now. Prior to that, I think I had a thin veil in front of me where I had work Mandy and personal Mandy, and I didn't let them crisscross. But I think it's important that you just kind of lay it all out there because you might be helping somebody or you might be getting a tip or a piece of advice that could help you.
Mandi, I learned a lot from you. Thank you for sharing your insights, your wisdom, your experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's really commendable. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is exciting.